good to get the W, but obviously I think we had a lot of jitters in there. Good to get him out of the way, and with the W in the first game. Had a lot of guys on base. Our arms did really well, filled it up. Garret battled. I think free base is always something we've been talking about all year, and I think that one is what bit us. When it did, when they scored runs, it was usually us kind of putting them on base. But our guys are resilient. They scored 2, we jumped right back, scored 2. This guy right next to me, Garret, he put together great at-bats, very confident. And that kind of is something that, leading by example, the other guys get to see that, and hopefully that creates more confidence coming from the rest of the guys. But also Garret coming out, doing what he did, Ben jumping right behind him, and Brownie slamming the door shut, putting up zeros, very important. So the mentality thing was big. Even though we, didn't play great baseball all around throughout the entirety of the game, those guys also played really well. We saw it before what they did in the conference tournament. They won 4 straight. They got in the tournament. They're playing hot. They play loose. They play aggressive, and their pitching did a great job today. Their starter and their reliever both threw the heck out of it. Showed a lot of grit, and we had a lot of guys on base, but they just kept coming. He had a great breaking ball and a firm heater. So proud of our guys coming out on top, but we definitely have to clean some stuff up.
Garret, you feel like you guys kind of dodged a bullet today?
Absolutely. I don't think we played to how Beaver baseball usually plays, but I'm glad that we were able to sneak out a win.
Does it feel like maybe some sort of like a wake-up call? I don't know if, I'm sure you didn't take anything lightly, but a wake-up call to say, hey, we need to play better tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we're going to come out tomorrow. We're going to learn from what we did tonight, and we're just going to bounce back and be Beaver baseball how we know it.
How did you feel out there, Coop?
For the most part, I felt pretty good in the early going. I was getting a little tired there at the end, but nothing too serious. Like you guys probably saw, the slider wasn't there as much as it usually is. But the thing about being a good pitcher is using your other stuff. And today I thought I was doing a pretty good job of locating the cutter really well. And at the end of the day, like Skip said, it's just the stuff that we did to ourselves. And they had timely hitting when I was hitting guys, walking guys, and stuff like that. So obviously got to clean that stuff up and work on it for the next week.
What happened in the 7th? Did you lose your feel, or just kind of?
I don't really know, to be honest. There's a little bit of tiredness. Like he said earlier, it was a little bit of the jitters, but nothing like out of the ordinary. Like I said, the slider wasn't working, so that kind of pops in the back of your head. But other than that, I felt pretty good for the most part.
Mitch, you mentioned some of the jitters, but how about Trotsky coming in and earning out that walk, bottom of the 10th when you guys needed him to come up and obviously set the stage for Boyd?
Yeah, that's Trotsky. He doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too low. No matter what the situation is, it seems like he's just pretty level-headed. And I went over and tapped him on the shoulder and said, hey man, you might be hitting this inning. Okay. It's very simple, not like wide-eyed and panic or anything like that. He just still stayed up on the rail and was watching the guy pitch and communicating with the guys next to him. But in that situation, keep the line moving, not chase anything out of the zone. And then at that point, the guy might try to start aiming it too. You're walking it, there's a lot of pressure, and you could hear the crowd rolling at the stadium or on the parking garage or what have you. I think that's a great feel for our guys. We talked about it, but it's hard to really understand until you experience it. Of seeing what Goss is like when everyone's there going wild on their feet. And, even when their starter left the game, a lot of our fans were on their feet clapping for them because they were impressed. They appreciate good baseball. But, I don't think Trotsky knew anyone was in the stands. He just went up there like he was, like he would on a Tuesday or Wednesday at practice, treating it like a game. And he's done a really good job of that all year, controlling the zone, great with his hands, and we just felt like he was in a good position if they did throw him a strike, that he was going to put something in play well.
Mitch, what lead us to the decision to stick with Ferrer instead of going to the closer there?
Benny's got a 1.89 ERA, and he's always been able to throw all of his pitches for strikes down in the zone. And some of those guys where he was at in the orders too, it's filling it up with strikes. Benny's got that mentality. I told you saw it down in Arizona for the tournament. You know, there were those innings where he's like, I'm not coming out of the game. And in that situation too, he had executed a good pitch, apparently just missed the zone. He thought it was strike 3, and then guy ends up getting a hit, one that he just left up in the zone a little bit. You know, I think that there's not a guy in that clubhouse that doesn't absolutely trust Ben with the baseball. No doubt Brownie's been excellent all year and has strikeout stuff, and he came in and did it too. And he was getting ready for a certain part of their order that had probably the best matchup for him. But you know, at that point too, there's rhythm to it, and you know Ben's going to do a great job, and you also know that if you can like save your closer in that situation, then you also got him for tomorrow as well. But I mean, it's postseason; everyone's going to be ready every day.
Mitch, did you watch the San Diego game? What do you think of the Ferreros?
I watched the first handful of innings, saw a little bit of the end as well. You know, they came out with good energy. They were communicating the whole time. They had good bounce around the yard. Started the game off with hit by pitch, and then right after that they go into a hit and run. And they're just putting pressure. So they're not afraid to hit and run. They're not afraid to put the ball on the ground. They're not afraid to just play loose. I think that's something that any team in the postseason needs to have, just confidence. They were jumping around with confidence. Up 3-0, and then Vandy hits a couple homers, but you still saw the way that they were moving around the yard. There was confidence. And even at the very end, line drive hit to the right fielder to end it. I mean, it was a thrilling game to watch. And Vanderbilt's a very excellent team. And you know, for San Diego to go out and beat them, that says something about them as well. So, like I said before this even started, every team in here is playing really well. Every team in here is strong. You got to bring your A game if you're going to pull it out.
Mitch, how important was it for you to get that lift from the bottom third of the lineup today with Brettler a couple of hits, Dukart was on base all day, and then obviously that walk from Trotsky in the 10th?
Yep, excellent. You love it. You love seeing when that bottom part of the order goes. We all know what Boyd and Mech and Garrett and Melt, you know, what they can do. Bazana, Gavin swung a hot bat down in AZ as well, and he's very hard to strike out. He's going to put balls in play. And for those guys to continue to put pressure on their pitcher and their defense, it goes a long way. It makes it harder when you get to the top of the order, when there's runners on and you got Boyd sitting there in the box. Like, that's not comfortable for any pitcher or defense. And so it really helps us get more heaters. It helps when they're trying to throw breaking balls, they got to put them in the zone. So, you know, we even saw it right there at the end of the game. Gavin Logan makes an excellent block on a ball that's way out of the zone from Brownie. That builds confidence in your pitcher, but at the same time, shoot, maybe I need to start throwing more fastballs with the guy on third. And that's where confidence takes over. But once you bury that, are you thinking about, hey, don't do this, don't spin another one in the dirt, I don't want to lose the game this way? Or are you saying, I'm going to go out there and execute my pitches? That's the advantage of having guys in scoring position. And when those guys are getting on, and we had tons of opportunities out there. The second inning, we had runners on second and third, and nobody out, pop up K, and then we didn't get it done. And so we kept putting guys on, kept putting pressure on them, lifted up their starters' pitch count, and he went 120 plus. You know, so it's not just going to be one in any one inning. It's not going to be one, you know, for the first half or the last half. You got to play an entire game in the postseason.
Garrett, how would you describe the groove that you're in right now? The 3-hit day.
Just seeing the ball well right now. I'm sticking with a good plan and sticking with what I do best. And if it's there, then I groove with it.
Mitch,
Okay.
do you feel like it's kind of ridiculous, you don't need to say anything, but do you just expect a better performance tomorrow after I mean, you don't need to do anything to
I'm
stimulate.
assuming you want me to say something now. So I don't have to, but I will. Of course, I always expect the best version of ourselves to come out. And again, I think sometimes that can be, and just knowing these guys and being around them each and every day and knowing how much they do care, sometimes we can push too hard. You know, we have high expectations for ourselves each and every day. And, you know, you want to go out there so bad. We were in the regionals last year, and it frustrated us to not move on to the next round. Not even move. It's not about getting to supers. For us, our expectation is always to come home and put another trophy in that room over there. And, you know, for us, these guys to talk about it, to write it down and work their butts off each and every day. And they're visualizing coming home, you know, and driving onto the field and doing the parade and all that stuff. You have to see it, and it gives you something to fight for. But that doesn't happen unless you're present on this given day. So when you make a mistake, and we made a handful today, you have to be able to shut it down and fix it the next day. You have to be able to shut it down and be able to go out there and execute the next inning, the next pitch, really. And so we expect more out of ourselves, from coaches or players or whatever, to be able to go out there and make quick adjustments. You know, so no matter what day it is, I always expect us to go out and be elite. And to be the guys that I know these guys can score 9 runs in an inning. I know they can score 12 runs in an inning. I know our pitchers can go out and shut guys down nonstop. I know our defense can turn double plays. I know our base runners can steal bags, read ball and dirt. I'm very proud of the work that they consistently put in. I'm very proud of how much they care about each other and they care about this program. You know, and when they're sitting around and they see other Beavs in the pros, or they see alumni coming around, or whoever, like, they know how important it is to wear this uniform. And getting that out of the way of saying, you know, I'm just trying too stinking hard. You don't need to go to effort. You just trust in all your work. And that's why, like, we challenge ourselves so stinking hard through the summer and the fall and the winter. And we're very hard on each other, and we're very truthful to one another, because we know that's going to produce better things down the road, giving each other the truth. And so after the game was over, yeah, we won, but we're going to sit there and be honest and like, we did not play well at all. You know, so you got to take a firm look in the mirror. Win, lose, or indifferent, we always have to find a way to get better. And so I anticipate our guys, as always, to come out tomorrow and compete and to have great energy and to, you know, keep their head on their shoulders and, you know, to make better decisions on second base when we talk about, we know this pick move happens and we still get picked off. To know the outs when a ball's hit to the outfield, know where the outfielders are so we're not almost doubled off. Like, small things like that can change energy. If we leave guys stranded on the bases, you don't put your head down and go out and play defense. You grab your glove and your hat and you get out there and you communicate with the guys and you go put up a 0 so you can get back in and hit. So it's just recognizing that and not allowing anyone else to deviate from our plan and our confidence.
Guys, Coach kind of mentioned that you guys kind of dream of moments like this. Earlier in the week, we talked to some of the guys, and they said they dream of, you know, playing in front of Goss, in front of a crowd like this. And that kind of came in clutch for you guys last inning of the game. What was that kind of like, having the fans behind you? I mean, it seemed like that had to help.
I mean, that was the loudest they've been all season, no doubt. And given it is a regional, it's surreal to be a part of this. It's something we've dreamed of as players our whole life. And to finally get that feeling and be around that stuff, it's surreal, for sure.
Yeah, waking up this morning, knowing that we were going to play a regional at Goss, it was like a dream come true for me. And just all day, it was light on my feet, you know, got good vibes all day.
Okay,